Okay, guys, we're gonna get started with our word wall and words of the day. Quickly write these. Okay, so we should have everything wrote down by now. If you don't, you can pause and get everything wrote down. So we're gonna move on to note taking. We're gonna go over it briefly. We should know how to do it by now, but we're gonna go over it briefly. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so remember, guys, we're going to put the date and the title on the top. Our title is going to be cattle breeds, and you're going to put the name of the cattle breed that we're on, because we're going to be talking about breeding beef today. And remember, the key words, I always highlight them. You're going to put those on the left. And then whatever notes you're thinking of or whatever you think might be important, we're going to put it on the right. And then at the end of class, we're going to summarize everything when you get into group discussion. Okay, so breeds of beef cattle. We have the Angus. At the top of your paper, you're going to put cattle breeds Angus. These guys are Bos taurus. Very important to know. This is their scientific name. This is what category they fall under. This cattle is originally from Scotland. They're a very hardy breed. They are naturally polled. Can anybody tell me what polled means? So polled cows means that they don't have horns. So if they're naturally polled, that means that they were bred to not have horns. When you see polled or non-polled, non-polled means that they do have horns. Their udders are sometimes white, but these cattle are predominantly black. They do have very high breeding ability and they are very good hardy cattle. So you see these mostly up north because they can withstand the cold. They don't really like the heat, but they can withstand the cold, so they're very good for that. We have the Red Angus. Now these guys are basically the same thing. They're basically the same thing. They just have a different color. But some person a long time ago decided that they're not the same breed. So there's different associations when it comes to registering your cattle. But the Red Angus, you'll just have to look up the differences, and I can go in depth later, but we're in a crunch for time right now. These are the Brahman cattle, also sometimes people call them hippos. These are my favorite cattle. I've shown these for years and I raise them. Love, love, love them. They're Bos Indicus. Now, let's remember these. Bos Indicus, India. Remember that. That's where these cattle are from. There are two types of Brahmin. There are red Brahmin and gray Brahmin. The gray look white. Sometimes they're gray. They have humps and they have very large ears. Their ears are very good for heat, like exchanging. They help them, like a dog sticks their tongue out when they're hot. These cattle have their ears. These cattle have very high sweat glands, and it helps them produce sweat to cool them off. These cattle are very, very good for this area in South America and regions where it's very, very hot. They are very good F1 cattle, and F1 cattle is when you crossbreed like a Angus and a Brahman to make Brangus. Very, very good cattle to cross with, and most F1s start out with a Brahman. Now, these guys do their maturity later on, so it does take them longer to have calves because they do mature later. We have the Hereford. They are the Bos taurus in the Bos taurus family. There are two types of Hereford. There are polled and non-polled. Remember, we talked about those. They're really, really good for F1 crosses. You can get Brayford, the Brahman comes back in it. They have very good fertility rates, and these cattle are originally from England. They do not like the heat, so they are not very good for this area, but they are very, very good cattle for up north, and where it predominantly gets cold. We have the Shorthorn, again, another Bos taurus category. They come in different colors. You've got the speckled ones and then you have the solid reds. These cattle are from England as well, but these are dual purpose cattle. So dual purpose cattle Remember, guys, we're going to write this down on our left-hand side. Dual-purpose cattle, shorthorn. They are for milking and for breeding. If you look at this one cow right here up in the right top corner, she has a very, very big bag, a very big udder, which is very good for milk production. If you look at a Brahmin, they don't have they don't have a very big udder. And that's why you breed them with other cattle that have very big udders like Herefords and Angus, because you want that hardiness of the Brahmin, but you also want the milk production of the other cattle. These guys are very, very good dual purpose cattle. They have very good carcass quality, very good muscles, and they also have a very, very good udder, and they are very good mama cows. Charolais. These guys are really cute little white cows. They're from France. They have the ability, very good carcass quality, but they have the ability to double muscle. So double muscling is growing, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's growing muscle on top of muscle. These guys are stout. Imagine like a WWE wrestler for the cows. Like they are stout, stocky, stocky, stocky. They are very good for crossbreeding, but you do have to watch out for that double muscling gene because sometimes it can be a problem. We have the Limousin. These are Boss Tours as well. They're also from France. They were used kind of like oxen, draft animals. They're good for meat production, great carcass quality, and they do have very, very good meat. It's better than Angus meat. The Simmental, they are another dual-purpose cattle. Sometimes they come in different colors. They have very good longevity. They are from the Swiss Alps. We have Sweden representing cattle. They are, dairy and beef because they're dual purpose. They have very high fertility, um, very easy calving, which is fantastic because if you ever have to pull a calf, it's not fun, and you would rather have a cow that can calve very easily and have no problems, and these guys are that. And that's the end of our notes. Back to the Herefords. These guys have a lot of problems with calving. And then also on top of that, they'll just have a calf and they'll look at it and be like, I don't think I really want you today, and walk off and leave it there, and you end up having to bottle feed it. Brahman cattle, these guys are very good mama cows. Do not come in between the two because they will hurt you very, very bad. Okay, guys, so that's it for what we needed to learn today. I know it was very quick and very fast, and we went over a lot of information, but feel free to go back over what we just did. If you have any questions, just let me know. Again, this PowerPoint slide is available for you with pictures. Familiarize yourself with what they look like and the highlighted information as well because you will be tested on it. Have a great day and stay safe.